What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Happy Thursday, September 17th to all of you. Thank you for watching Betting with the Bag right here on odds.com, the odds headquarters here on YouTube. Giant card today that looks real nice. MLB, NBA, NHL, and NFL. Man, sounds good to say. I've already locked in 2 spots on the NBA game. First half, full game under. That pace was slow. Shooting percentages were high. And I think it's a series of adjustments. And we're going to see a lot of adjustments possibly work, possibly not work here in game 2. 106.5 I got for the first half. 209.5 I got for the full game. That went up. By the way, it went up from 208.5 to 209.5 in the 10 minutes before I bet it. I was watching the lines very closely. I'm very excited about the sporting landscape. Already on the Bengals +6. We're going to talk about that. And I understand the Browns are going to be capable of running the ball down the Bengals' throat. But I think Joe showed us something. Joe Burrow showed us something in that final drive, although it didn't end up successful. Shout out to all the cappers in the chat. Viper MB says, early bird gets the worm. Cards -1, -125. You got a better line than I did. I did pull through on the cards. I did take them. Dakota Hudson's been so good. We'll get into it. There is our guy, Dan Kelly Hogard, not looking good through 9, but low bag means never having to say you're sorry. Absolutely. And it's just through 9. Give us an update throughout the show, Dan. I'd love to hear if Hogard could get some momentum going for you. There's the Lock Nick Monster, Buzz Nuts, Jay Sweeney. I won't highlight that Jimmy's the best capper in the world because it's MLB's just beating me up. Although we pushed the Dodgers game yesterday. A mistake. I could have taken the Rockies first 5 at -130 before the show started. In the end, heavy movement went on Colorado, and out of anger, because the Phillies-Mets went from 4 to 3.5, so I didn't bet it. Now, that worked in my favor. But out of anger of missing that Phillies-Mets line, I ended up taking the Rockies -0.5 at -120. They tied this 1-1 after 5. That should have been a push, but just bad emotional handicapping there. And then I was fortunate to get the Raves first 5. They lost that game 4-2. But Jay Sweeney, thank you for the kind words. There's my guy Nilo, ready to get to work. Tony Hill, Slats 45. Said, like I said, the biggest pitching mismatch of the year, Yanks -1.5 first 5 and team total over 5.5 cash. Look at that. And he's right back on it. Do you think Chase Anderson slows him down? Wow, I get it, Slats. 13 home runs in the last 2 games. Are you kidding me? Astino Ligged, Mitch Bruner, Top Set says positive energy has just entered the chat. Soothing. Alexi Popovich ready to get to work. Mr. Know-It-All, Brandon Lugo, Christian Rivas, Tony Mang. I'm not wearing my pink blouse either. No pink house coat, no pink blouse. Jesse Dale says, mistake to trust Cincy in the rookie here. Can't overreact to the Browns being blown out to the Ravens. I hear you. Look, this is a clear overreaction. We talked about it all throughout the show. I just think the Bengals, without having to deal with the Browns fans, 6,000 of them? I think they can keep it close. I hear you, though. There we go. Von Polo says, just changing my flight from October 4th to October 3rd. Oof, staying up Valley. Awesome. Von Polo, we need updates throughout your trip there. Coy Moore's on Browns first half -3. Scooty and Ricky Butchell says, one thing I'm taking the Heat. Big move towards the Celtics. They've gone from 1 to 2.5. There's CT Bays. And Browns win by 10, says CT Bays. Bright Ware. Scooty needs some walks. There's Smith Legacy. Irie Soul. Nice to see Irie Soul. Have not seen him lately. Irie Soul, we got to get you back in action. The real DJX. Rude Jude. Big Franco. Stu Boo. A. Hilly. Leroy Flood. Johnny K. Islanders to win series. Woo. A. Hilly's on Georgia Southern Moneyline. Only Hunter. Tony Mang. Indians first 5 and then full game. Yeah, well, I was on the Cubbies. But I did not take the Cubbies full game just because it was that huge market move we were talking about. We had Jin Remy in the chat saying at plus 110, there's value on the Cubs. I still got the plus 100 on Cubbies first 5, but when I went to bet Cubbies full game, it's minus 110 and just couldn't do it. Cash action bets 1 play tonight for me, New York Mets. All right, let's get to work. Let's get to work. Von Polo on Moneyline. And Earl DFS hammering it to Birdie in the house. There's Ich Schnizzle. Ready for my Browns to take their heads out of their asses and run tonight. We know they're going to run. Really liking Chubb over rushing yards. Chubb and Hunt. I mean, if you can get 132 yards rushing against the Ravens while you're down, I mean, they should get 200 yards rushing, which was the reason why this has gone towards the under. All right, there's Guillermo Zertucci, Johnny K, TJ. All right, it is time to get to work. Jack Reinhart, the Czar, Levi Kressler, Canadian Capper, Chris Smith, Kevin Ramos says goals will be hard to come by. I agree, Kev. I almost took that first period under 1.5. It was minus 135. I thought it was too expensive. That under 5 is at plus 115. The problem is if the Islanders are down, they pull their goalie early. And then I want a bigger plus line if I take the Islanders. Tricky. There's Ulysses Hayes, great capper. All right, Robert Allen. It is time to get to work. David Martin on Cleveland, Houston, run line. Let's get to work. We're going to start with Red Sox, Marlins. Let's see what we are dealing with. Red Sox, Marlins. We're going to go money lines, totals. Marlins open up at minus 120 with Jose Urena. They're now sitting at they're still sitting at minus 120. That total is at 9. Let me go right over to Bet365 and take a look at it. The Marlins have moved to minus 115, and the over is getting heat. Cat Money Benny, Chode, play of the day. Denver plus 8. There's Mr. Gokster, whom we miss dearly. A. Haley says, major concerns with Browns' O-line injuries and Stefanski on the short week. Also, can't trust Burrow on a short week with the worst coach in the league. Hard pass. I hear that. It does make me excited. I'm excited about watching this game. A lot of questionable head coaches and decisions and quarterbacks. Eovaldi, Urena. Let's break this down. Captain Marvel says, Jimmy loves my Red Sox. Well, I want to fade Urena. I do. Urena's looked terrible. Most of the season on the IL. Since returning, he's looked bad. So, a couple things. First, he's not going to have Jorge Alfaro, which is actually could benefit him. In his career with Alfaro, he's a 6.04 ERA. So, Wallach will come in. Chad Wallach. With Wallach, he has a much better ERA, but Chad Wallach's much worse offensively. There's Brooklyn Walker. Great to see you. Viper MB says Urena, a bum. Brightware says over in Marlins is the play. So Wallach is going to take away from the offense, clearly. But look how bad Urena has been since coming back. I mean, 9 and a 30 is 4 Ks and 7 walks. He's not going to be on the postseason roster at this point. Chris Smith says over. That's all. Can't back the Boston Red Sox. CT Base says Red Sox today. Marte will be back in the lineup. He's been very good. The Red Sox are 4-3 when Eovaldi starts. He's bad numbers against the Marlins. A tiny sample size. Has 34 starts at Marlins Park. Wasn't great there. 4.43 ERA. There's Cole Coleon. Says, give me the Doo-Doo Browns tonight. It's going to be a fun game. First Thursday nighter of the season. Both teams' bullpen poor. Marlins' bullpen's been getting lit up. Big Franco says Red Sox team total over isn't a bad look. Let's see what that is right now, Big Franco. The Red Sox team total over 4.5 at minus 115. Eovaldi 2-2, 4.82 ERA, 1.29 WHIP, 37 Ks and 37 in a third. What do we get on the Red Sox first 5? This is up yet at my book. It is Plus 105 on the Red Sox first 5. Topset says that's my lean. That is going to be a spot that I move. Kevin Ramos, yeah, I can't wait to talk about the game, but I'm doubling up on the under. I didn't have the balls to take the over in game 1. I think there's going to be many adjustments. Mr. Gogster, that was ugly, ugly coaching by Fangio. Ugly, 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 ugly coaching. I mean, how many Madden players could have coached that final 2 minutes, or at least called the right timeouts? I mean, it's just crazy. All right, I'm in. I'm going to take Red Sox first 5. You get Alfaro out of the lineup. I know that might help Urena. Red Sox first 5 at a plus line, plus 105 right now. Hopefully it is there. I'm going to go to bed. Robert Allen says, baseball surprised me with all these teams that are already eliminated, still playing hard, really trying to win. I keep getting caught up in that messing those teams out of it, but they're trying. I think part of it, Robert Allen, is the shortened season. I mean, if it's game 140 and the team's out of it, there's a lot of mailing in. You know, with a short season, it's pretty easy to keep fighting. Hey, Haley says, Fangio, great defensive coordinator, deer in headlights with game management, though. It was atrocious. Ken Mizrahi says, play of the days, Rockies over the Dodgers after they clinched. They clinched the playoffs. They haven't clinched the division, Ken. But I like your look on the travel day. Okay, let's keep rolling. That's the first spot on the board. I am backing the Boston Red Sox first 5 at a plus line. Let's move on to Twinkies White Sox. Twinkies White Sox. White Sox first 5 at plus 150. With Ronaldo Lopez coming off his first good start of the year. Kenta Maeda has been spectacular. He's minus 175 right now. Backdoor cover joining us. And Bright Ware says, yes, Rockies. Okay, let's talk Twinkies, White Sox, 31-20, Twinkies, 32-17, White Sox. It looked like the White Sox were going to run away to the division after this series, but the Twinkies put a stop to that behind Jake Odorizzi. Shout out to our Noli Knows, who was on the under 8.5 in this game yesterday. White Sox don't hit righties as hard as they hit lefties, but they hit righties hard enough. 265, 766 OPS. Twins bullpen, White Sox bullpen, both very strong. Buxton, Sano, Rosario hit homers to end that White Sox 6-game winning streak last night. They had scored 3 runs while losing the first 2 games of the series. Maeda, how good has this guy been this year? Wow. 5-1, 2.43 ERA, 0.74 whip. That whip is unbelievable. Opponents are batting 158 against them. There's penny bombs. David Martin on Mini on the money line. It's expensive. That's expensive. Richie Rich. Nick Hub joining us. Maeda. Last outing, 7 innings of 4-hit shutout ball against the Indians, who aren't hitting and have lost 8 straight. 2.70 ERA, 2 career starts against the White Sox. Then we have Lopez. What do you do with Lopez? He looked so bad. And he's looked so bad against the Twins. 7 runs, 5 earned, 7 hits, and 2 1/3 total innings. 6.44 ERA, 9 starts against Minnesota. But you have this White Sox on fire. And Von Polo going to be on the flight and miss the Preakness. That happens. At least you're going to be on the flight to Vegas. Well, I'm going to stay off. But I understand anybody making a move on the Twinkies with how good Maeda's been. Anderson, 13 for 23 over the past 5 games. Abreu, 11 for 21. Can ask Cat. Okay. All right. I'm going to stay off this. I certainly don't want to fade Maeda, and I'm interested to see if Lopez can continue where he left off in his last start when he looked much, much better. 5 shutout innings. It was against the Tigers, but he looked much better. Okay, let's move on. I know a lot of guys talking NFL. We're going to get there soon. CT Bays on a Boston parlay. Or I shouldn't say parlay. Boston double. Red Sox and Celtics. Okay, let's move on to Giants, Mariners. Again, this is in San Francisco, but Mariners are the home team. I already pulled the trigger on Tyler Anderson and the Giants on the -1 line. So Marjanovic and Anderson are making their second consecutive start against each other. Anderson pitched 6 scoreless against the Mariners in San Francisco on September 9th. And the reason why I'm going to take the Giants at this price, because I got -122, is cash action is on Seattle, is because Tyler Anderson had the 3 straight starts against Arizona. And that first start, he had the complete game. And then he got touched in the second and third starts. And he said that's going to help him so much in this start because he was changing things up after that. He was like, how do I trick hitters who've already seen me? And he wasn't trusting his stuff. And he said yesterday in an interview, he's like, I'm going to trust my stuff tomorrow because it's working. And this is a Mariners team that can't hit lefties, 189, 620 OPS, and a Giants team that smashes lefties. In fact, Jin's on the Mariners +135. Numbers-wise, I can understand seeing value with the Mariners. This is a psychological angle I'm taking on Tyler Anderson talking about facing the lineup a second time in a week against Marjanovic facing a lineup a second time in a week. That's my feel on this. A lot of guys liking the Mariners at plus prices here. CT Bays, Brightware, Jin Rummy. And I'm not. I'm going to trust Tyler Anderson to get the job done here in this spot with this Giants team on their way to the playoffs. First 5 is expensive. I guess I won't mess with that. What's it -0.5? -110. Brandon Lugo says Mariners a popular dog. Robert Allen says can't trust the Mariners. Giants or pass. I take too much into it. You know, my mom's a shrink. But watching Tyler Anderson talk, I was like, look, this guy just went through this. I think he's going to take care of business here. Paul C says, what's the safest Survivor NFL pick this week? I haven't sent mine in either. I need to get that in. Meant to do that last night. All right. I'm going to double down on my feelings of Tyler Anderson here. So I'm already on the -1. I'm doubling down. I'm going to take the first 5 -0.5 at -110. I just feel so strongly about it that I'm going to put my money on the line. All right. Okay, let's go. Rays, Orioles. Let's go Rays, Orioles. 75 Fahrenheit. Oh, by the way, the weather is offensive weather in Frisco at Oracle, although you know the wind swirls, so it's I take that back, I guess. The wind swirls over there. 67 Fahrenheit, partly cloudy, 8 miles per hour to straightaway center. All right, let's move on to the double dip Rays Orioles. We have no idea what's going on in the second half of the doubleheader. We don't know who the pitchers are. We've got no lines. We'll let that go. Let's talk about Dean Kramer and Blake Snell and see what we are dealing with. This total at 6.5 at some books. Some books have already moved it to 6. And if you wanted that 6.5, it was heavily juiced. And these Rays are big favorites. Big favorites. Kevin Ramos says, rookie quarterback on the road? I don't know. I think I'll take my chances with OBJ not dropping the ball today. Is it same road fears that we had in the past with no fans? Robert Allen says, fade the Jets in your survivor picks in NFL whenever they play a good team. Easy pick. All right, let's go. Camden, 75 Fahrenheit, overcast, 7 miles per hour, out to left center. Snell, 4-1, 3.23 ERA, 1.23 whip, 50 Ks in 39 innings. And last start came September 11th, 5 1/3 scoreless. They're starting to stretch him out a little bit. It's Benny Pennybombs with his play of the day here. Marcus Smart over 2.5 threes. Put up 26 points last game one. Looked very strong. Snell has poor numbers against the Orioles. 2-2, 5.10 ERA. Two things. Orioles aren't hitting lefties as hard as they were before. 250, 750 OPS. But I don't want the Orioles at this price when they're just simply not hitting. Since August 24th, 182 batting average with runners in scoring position. They were 0 for 11 on Wednesday in that road loss to the Nationals. And Dan Kelly says, absolutely, it is the same road fears, Jim. It is the same short rest and prep time hurting the road team much more. I don't think it affects as much at the very beginning of the season. But Dan's saying fans have nothing to do with that trend. So, and Carlos said there will be some fans at the game tonight. Yes, 6,000. 6,000 fans at the game tonight. Orioles have lost 6 of 8. Do they have momentum after taking 2 of 3 off of the Braves? Bright Ware says, can't trust Snell. I think Snell's going to step up here late. And I've loved what I've seen from Kramer. God, and hearing him talk, too. This guy is a perfectionist, just picking apart each and every one of his starts. I guess I have interest in the under here. Would they give us a 5? Even I don't need to be afraid of the Orioles bullpen. The Orioles bullpen's been good. First 5 is at 4. This full game, 6.5 at -135 right now. Alexei Popovich looking at the first 5 under. I'd be fine having the 7 innings. I'd be fine with. Dan Kelly says, I'm not saying take the Browns. I'm saying no way you can take the Bengals. All right. I hear you. God, is this under in play? You know, Dean Kramer's been so good. The Rays just aren't hitting. The O's are hitting, but their numbers against lefties are going down. Both bullpens are strong. Kramer's got nasty stuff. Chris Smith says, everybody on Browns, I'm taking Bengals to cover. Well, Bebenek, who's 5-0 to start the year, is also on the Bengals. Okay, I'm going to take this first game under. I'm not going to take the 6.5 at -135. And I'm not going to take the 4. Okay, let's keep rolling. So the double dip, we don't know who's pitching. Let's keep rolling right now. We move on to Jays Yankees. This Yankees team is raking. Wow. What a ball club. Champino. A lot of guys want to talk football. Look, I want to talk football too. We'll get there very soon. Champino says OBJ to score a TD for +150. Okay. 74 Fahrenheit, overcast, 6 miles per hour, out to left center in Jays Yankees. Chase Anderson versus Masahiro Tanaka. Is there any possibility that this Yankees offense slows down against Chase Anderson? Probably not. We've already heard Slats 45 and others bullish on these New York Yankees. They open up at -200. They're now -230. This total was juiced to the under 9.5. Now it's juiced to the over 9.5. Nice job, Shane. Yeah, I pushed that first 5. I can't believe I pushed the first 5. Ridiculous. That first 5, I mean, the Cubs had runners on base and were dangerous in every inning and couldn't get it done. All right, Chase Anderson, Masahiro Tanaka. I can understand people keep eating with the Yankees in this spot. I completely get it. They've won 7 straight. 6 homers on Tuesday, 7 homers on Wednesday. In their 7 wins, they outscored opponents 61-13. And then they have Tanaka, 1 run on 3 hits in 5 innings last out, second game of Friday's doubleheader. He's allowed 2 runs or less in 6 of his 8 starts, 13-5, 2.87 ERA, and 21 career starts against Toronto. Toronto's being outscored 40-10 in the past 3 games with the Yankees. They've lost 4 of their past 6 games, getting outscored 58-11 in those 4 losses. It's crazy. How do you get outscored 58? How does a team score 58 runs on you in 4 games? I've never. I mean, that's just ridiculous. Chase Anderson facing the Yankees for the first time. He's allowed 10 runs in 6 2/3 over his last 2 starts. Alexei Popovich says Blue Jays in total tailspin. Jansen Bonson says fade Jays. This is the real Jays. God, at this number, I just can't do it. I can't do it. And I don't want to jump on the Yankees. I was afraid to jump on the Yankees yesterday. Their team total was at 5.5, and I was like, how do we make this move? I was afraid to do it, and lo and behold, Yankees put up 7 more home runs. Jansen says Tanaka owns the Jays. Jason Lyer says Yankees hottest team in the league and will be ride till they lose. And Mr. Know-It-All says, man, these NFL fanatics are impatient. May have to start the show with NFL. D. Summers, Dodgers, Cardinals, White Sox. Jansen says Judge and Stanton are back. Chris Smith on Yankees minus 2.5. I'm not going to sit here with this giant favorite that's been dominating. I can completely understand if you guys want to keep riding the Yankees train. Let's just see what that Yankees team total is. Yankees team total 5.5 minus 115. Jays is 3.5 minus 125. Martin Bradseed says I'd like to put my money on a team that still has pitching. All right. Okay, so no Shane Schwade said riding the heat all day. I get it. And I like the line now that it's the money line now that the money's coming on the Celtics. Mark Unkefer, what up, my man? Levi Kressler says, I hate betting team totals over at 5.5. So do I. And Jansen says, don't be fooled with the hometown Jays. Big Franco says, Yankees team total over revenge series that will not let up. Chase Anderson's been bad. 5.81 ERA, 1.56 whip. Big Ragu says, come on, we know how the MLB rolls. It's streaks. I just don't know. What are you going to do? You could take the over 5.5 team total, sure. You could take the Yankees on the minus 1.5 run line to minus 125, sure. But these Jays, they don't like getting smacked around like this. And don't forget, the Jays had won or tied 9 straight series before the Yankees beat them up. Okay, look, I completely get why you guys would back the Yankees here. They're rolling. Viper MB says, agreed, Yankees all day. Thank you, Brightware. Please do, my man. Brandon and Lugo, they're getting healthy. We've been talking about it this week. Do we just go right back to the well? And I wonder, so Yankees minus 125, minus 1.5. I mean, that's not the worst deal I've ever heard. It feels like I'm coming to the party late. Yankees first 5. Minus 0.5 is minus 160. I can't do that. Top says Yankees run line in next. Rod Cape says Jays bullpen's tired. They look bad. Cat Money Benny says ride the Yankees till the wheels falls off. All right, it feels like I'm late to the party. But how do you not back Tanaka here? Jeff Goglia taking Yankees minus 2. SoCal Reseller says stop trying to talk yourself off the Yankees. They're hitting well and rolling. Yankees run line and team total over. Big Franco says, what's the weather? It's at Yankee Stadium, 74 Fahrenheit, overcast, 6 miles per hour, out to left center. It's okay, Ricky Brown. I don't need you to refund the money if I lose. Okay. They're rolling. And I'll back them. I'll back them on the run line, -1.5, -125. Now, if I go to bet it and it's -135, I'm not going to bet it. Guillermo says, miss the wedding, don't show up for the funeral. Shane Sweater says, do you think Heat money line goes up 4? We'll talk about it. Okay, let's move on to Mets Phillies. 71 Fahrenheit, overcast, 6 miles per hour, out to straight away center. Been a strange series as Mets Phillies won. DeGrom goes down with a hamstring injury, and the Mets come all the way back and win yesterday. This total opened up at 8. It's now at 7.5. Nola and the Phillies open up at -135 at Bet 365. Let's see what they are right now. Now they're -125, a 10-cent move. All right. Let's break this down here. Lugo is being very good. 2-3, 2.63 ERA, 1.10 WHIP, 36 Ks and 27 in a third. Aaron Nola also pitching very well of late. 5-3, 2.40 ERA, 0.89 WHIP, 56 in the third, 77 Ks. 13 walks, but 8 home runs allowed, mainly earlier in the season. In Philly, it's 71 Fahrenheit, overcast, 6 miles per hour, out to straight away center. Mets bullpen continues to improve as the season goes on. 4.13 ERA, 1.37 WHIP. Phillies bullpen is struggling, as always. Hector Neris couldn't shut the door last night. Nola 1-1 with a 2.19 ERA against the Mets this season. In his career, 8-2 with a 3.00 ERA. Nola's last start against the Marlins, 7-inning complete game shutout. 7-inning complete game shutout, part of a doubleheader. 3 hits, struck out 10. Lugo's been very good as well. And now this total's down to 7.5. CT Bay says Mets is a dog. Lugo hangs with Nola. Penn's Phillies pen blows it. Legitimate. I'm going to stay off this Phillies-Mets game. I've not been figuring these two teams out as of late, and I'm just going to stay off. Let's move on to Cards Pirates. 71 Fahrenheit, overcast, 7 miles per hour, out to right field. I was bullish on the Cardinals, and I think Dakota Hudson is a beast right now. And Brault, I don't think Brault's that bad, although 17 walks and 26 2/3, way too many. But the Cards smash lefties. It's the only thing they do well this year. 250, 805 OPS. David Martin on that Mets under first 5. Mets Phillies under first 5. That is the similar situation to yesterday, where it's at 4 right now. I guess that 4 is not bad, but I'm going to stay off. Cards have lost 6 of 9. Pirates have lost 8 straight. 8 straight these Pirates have lost. Now they come home after being swept by the Reds. Dakota Hudson coming to his own right now. Saturday against Cincy, no-hitter through 5 2/3. He's pitching well. He's had 8 appearances against the Pirates in his career, 4 starts, 2-1, 4.21 ERA. Brault is better as a starter than he is out of the pen. Brault has a 5.06 ERA, 1.61 WHIP this year, but as a starter, he's a 3.71 ERA. Dean Eden coming with his KHL looks. Thank you for sharing those with us, Dean. Brault gave up 3 runs, 5 hits, and 4 innings at Kansas City. 97 pitches to get 12 outs. He's just walking too many batters. No, Pirates lost 1-0. Brault 0-2 with a 5.97 ERA and 11 appearances, 5 starts against the Cards. Chris L says Cards, Pirates under 8.5. Neither team can hit right now. It's just the lefties. The lefties could wake up. Sorry, against lefties, the Cardinals could wake up. Young Suave, I can't. I'm going to take that full game under Young Suave, but because I love what I've seen from Kramer, but with the way the Rays are hitting, you can't call them a lock by any stretch of the imagination. Cardinals, Pirates. So I took the -1. I like what I've seen from Dakota Hudson. The question is, do we want to also add a first 5 and double up? Which I'm feeling fear of just as I say it out loud. Do I need to be sitting here doubling up? -0.5 and -125. Brault's been better of late, but they hit lefties. There's Red Girl joining us. Great to see you, Red Girl. David Rybakov, I tail guys in UFC. UFC is not. I don't cap it. Let me leave it at that. I don't cap it. Cashman says off a week with fam, ready to go. Local River Sportsbook open back up. Great to hear that, Cashman. Martin Bradseed says Pirates are that bad, unpredictably bad. There's Nutflush Allen joining us. We've missed you. Is this a Pirates double up? So I said Suter pitched 3 scoreless innings last night. He's a lefty too. Yeah, no, I shouldn't be bullish here. And I'm not going to. I'm just going to leave that Cardinals -1. I don't want to sit here and double up on the spot. Okay, let's move on to Indians, Tigers, Bieber versus Casey Mize. This Indians ball club isn't hitting. They lose a heartbreaker last night to the Cubs in extras. They've lost 8 straight games. And now Bieber comes in, and he's a enormous favorite. Enormous favorite. And I want Casey Mize. This total's at 7.5. Bieber taking money. It's stayed the same, -280. Casey Mize. So this is one of those spots where you have to think that first 5 plus a half run and plus money is going to give you a ton of value, because Casey Mize, #1 overall pick in 2018, didn't allow a hit for the first 5 innings against the White Sox in his last outing. Kenta Maeda is a righty, Shane. Bieber tagged for his first loss on Friday, but it was another nice start. 3 runs, 5 hits, 7 innings. He shut down the Tigers in the first start against them this season, 7 scoreless. He's got great numbers against the Tigers. But if Casey Mize can pitch the way he's been pitching, look, Indians 228, 690 versus righties. Tigers are the same. But if Bieber gets a little more vulnerable, because it is 13 miles per hour out to right field, which would keep me off of the 5s. Big Franco says Bieber bounces back hard. I think this is the spot where this Tigers first 5 plus a half would have value. Let's see what we're dealing with on the first 5 anyways. Tigers are at +240. Let's see how much it'll cost to add in that plus a half. Cost a whole $1. Cost a whole $1. Viper MB says Bieber will get 10 Ks at least. Tiger strikeout machines. TJ likes the Bieber under, projecting 8.12 Ks. So much juice on the under 9.5, so he's staying off. Brian Watson joining us. Sean Schmidt says Bieber first 5 unders is 10 wins, 0 losses. I just Bieber could be regressing back to the mean. Is it worth a whole $1 to get a plus a half in a plus 7.5 game? Chili Dog Dooley says birthday pick today. What you got? Chili Dog Dooley's birthday. Let's look at the very end of the show once we've capped everything. Chili Dog Dooley's birthday. He needs birthday picks. Send them in. Copy and paste that. All right. We have 2 teams that can't hit righties. I guess it's not worth a full $1. Plus a half at plus 140 when I could get The first 5 at plus 240. A half run can't be worth $1. It can't be. And it's C-Mac's birthday as well. Nice. Chili Dog Dooley and C-Mac celebrating birthdays today. Okay. Babano has got all new equipment coming in. All new equipment. So we're going to have Babano here in shortly, and he's going to look better than ever. All right. I can't spend $1 on the plus a half. But I will take the Tigers first 5 plus 240. That's just too much. That's just with the way the Indians are hitting. Why not? Detroit Tigers first 5 plus 240. God, I wish that half run would cost me 60 cents. Even 70 cents. All right. Whew. Tigers, first 5, plus 240 going for a score. Let's move on to Rangers, Astros, Lyles, Framber Valdez. I still expect them to go for an opener. Or maybe they're saying, look, this is your last chance starting for the franchise if you get hit again. It's not the Seaman Sipper play today, Jansen. But I miss those days. There's Dutch Boy Fresh says, we don't get older, only wiser. Happy player day to Chili and C-Mac. Jordan Lyles, 1-4, 7.80 ERA, 1.64 whip. Rangers, Astros. Framber Valdez, a lefty, 3-3, 4.08 ERA, 1.20 whip, 57 in the third, 57 Ks, 15 walks, 5 homers allowed. Valdez has not looked good of late. 13 earned runs over his last 12 innings. Opponents' OPS against them, 976. Does not have nice numbers against Texas. Lyles has been terrible. He's followed openers 2 of his last 3 appearances. If he qualified as a starter, his ERA would be the highest in the majors. He looks bad. Rude Jew got Tigers first 5 at plus 290. Jesus. David Ribicoff saying over or under on Tampa Bay, New York tonight. I am doing neither. But I am going to ride with the Yankees with you guys. It's Frankie, Steve. Frankie. It's not Freddie. It's Frankie, my man. And Robert Allen says, Robert Crawford in the middle of a hurricane. Guys, I hope he's okay. Sent a video what he's in the middle of it looks like. Very important. Thank you for mentioning that, Robert Allen. Yes, our Ron Crawford, who gives us a spreadsheet plays of the day. Hurricane Sally battering him right now. So very important. Thank you for sharing that, Robert Allen. And all love to our man, Ron Crawford. Astros versus righties, 243, 722 OPS, not strong. Astros bullpen, Rangers bullpen's better than the Astros bullpen at this point. Astros bullpen looks terrible. But how can you back Jordan Lyles in any situation? Let's see what we are dealing with here. This total opened up at 9.5. It's gone down to 9. I'm not going to back Valdez. I'm not going to back Valdez here. He's looked bad. And Jordan Lyles knows 9 home runs allowed in 42 2/3. If he gets hurt here, that's it. Mr. Gogster, Astros score first. I can't trust Valdez to get through that lineup. I don't dislike the spot, but I just can't trust Valdez. And then this total's gone from 9.5 to 9. All very tricky. Let's move on to Dodgers Rockies. 86 Fahrenheit, clear, 5 miles per hour in. Freeland versus Urias. Urias is nightmares of Mile High. Nightmares. Ulysses says, jump on those Bolts money line. I can't. But I don't think there's enough value to take the Islanders here. So, and Junior Remy says that under 9.5 is good. Freeland, Urias 3-0, 3.53 ERA, 1.29 whip. Too many walks, 16 walks in 43 and a third. But what happens when he faces the Rockies is he gets touched. Touched. 9 appearances, 6 starts against Colorado, 6.29 ERA. At Coors Field, he has a 7.71 ERA. Dodgers got Justin Turner back, but it's a travel day. I don't expect him to even be in the lineup here. Rockies hit lefties harder than they hit righties. Jim Rummy says over at 11.5. It opened at minus 102. There's Raj Desai joining us. What is this total at now? Move quickly to. No, it's not at 12 at all books. But great work, Jin Rummy. I can understand backing Freeland early here. 2-2 with a 4.56 ERA at home this year. 5.89 ERA in his past 4 starts against LA. But he did look pretty good in his only start this year at Dodger Stadium. It was a 4-3 loss. Barry Smith. Mr. Chameleon, our guy on our Periscope right now, is on these Rockies at plus 150. Oh, bad news. Bad news, Mitch. Hate seeing that. I agree, C-Mac. That was exactly what I was thinking. This could be the spot for the Rockies' first 5. But are we going to get rewarded for it? Let's see what I would get at Bet365 if I move on the Rockies' first 5. Plus 130. That is enough for me. Rockies' first 5 at plus 130. That is enough for me. Okay. That is our MLB baseball card. 12 games. And the double dip we don't have lines for the second half. Mitch Bruner says, I've already faded the Dodgers today. Crash99 says the over at Coors is due. There's Sambino and Guiano joining us. Okay, let's go over our action on today's card. Rockies first 5 at plus 105. Red Sox first 5 at plus 105. Steve Zang, we're going to get an NBA next. NBA, NHL, NFL. That was just our – and that's canceled officially. Too bad. Don't worry, Steve. We got lots more to talk about. Just getting through MLB. Red Sox first 5 at plus 105. Giants first 5 minus a half at minus 110. And I'm already on the minus 1 and minus 122. And there's a lot of very sharp cappers in the chat back in the Mariners today. We'll see. We'll see. Often numbers help much more than breaking down an interview with a pitcher, which I've done. So we'll see if my social, emotional breakdown of Tyler Anderson beats the bots. Rays, Orioles, full game under 6. It's at 6.5 right now, but I don't want to pay the minus 135. Yankees minus 1.5 and minus 125. Cardinals, I'm on the minus 1 full game. I'm not doubling up there. Spenny's saying by November we won't have anything about horses again. Martin Bradstreet, I'll go back to that Red Sox in a second here. And then I've got 3 plus lines on first 5s. Slight one with the Red Sox plus 105. But I got Tigers first 5 at plus 240. And Rockies first 5 at plus 130. And that is our action. Antoine Seymour joining us says, what's good, Heat money line? Don't overthink it. I like that look on the Heat money line. Oh, Uranus just looked so awful, Martin. He's looked so bad. And then you bring in Wallach because Jorge Alfaro has had all these concussion issues, the catcher for the Marlins. It's a perfect place, I guess, managerial-wise, to bring in Wallach because Uranus has better numbers with Wallach catching. Sample size is small, but that offense is taken away. And I think Eovaldi can get us through. All right. And there's our Razor Sharp picks in the houses. What up to my NBA article should be up soon. Look at Razor eating. My God. My God, this Razor just ate straight. He's got eating. We got Tata Booker rolling with us. Great to see you, Tata. Lucky Lefty. Are they the best couple in handicapping? Possibly. They're very, very high. I can't think of a better handicapping couple than Tata and Lucky Lefty. All right. Ravi Patel says it's in the bag. I hope so. And let's get to work. I know everyone wants to talk NFL, but the game of the night is in NBA. Let's talk about it right now. Our numbers are still strong in NBA. Still can be proud of them. We are 162 and 141, plus 8.62 units, just a 2.84% ROI. And it's gone down. The Nuggets team total over. We've actually lost 4 straight in NBA. It sucks. So we're down 4.6 units in our last 4 bets, but still plus 2.84% ROI. Let's get after this basketball game, and how much fun is it going to be? East Finals Game 2. Heat up 1-0. We'll start with pace. Heat and Celtics in the 8 seeding games in the bubble both had possessions a game over 100. Heat 100.69, Celtics at 101.06. In the playoffs, that dipped. Heat went down to 96.83 possessions a game, Celtics 95.47. In game 1, that fell off. And it was the second half. The first half, they were moving pretty quick. Second half, it just fell off, down to 89.66 possessions a game. That's the lowest number I've read out all year long. All year long. Dennis Garcia on Miami moneyline plus 120 and the under 209.5. I have doubled up on the under first half and full game. Watching how slow. Now, I had to watch it after the fact, after the game, because we were live during that game doing our NFL opening line show, which is every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. So I had to watch it back, and it looks like a series of our wildest dreams for any basketball fan. Celtics opened up at minus 1.5. Now they're minus 2.5. This total opened up at 209.5. It dipped down to 208.5 and is back up to 209.5 at some books. Some books are still keeping that 208.5. From a money line perspective, the Celtics opened up at minus 135. Now they're minus 145. And you have to think to yourself, these teams are so evenly matched. We're on a neutral court. How do you not take that plus money? How do you not take that plus money? Giovanni Biesdorf, great basketball capper, joining us. Ulysses Hayes on Celtics money line minus 138. Cashman 19 says Celtics had such good ball movement, spacing first 3 quarters. Ball movement wasn't there in the fourth. Will be there tonight. Sambino Anguiano is on Celtics first quarter minus 1 and minus 113. Says I'm telling you, this is going to cash. Heat always lose the first quarter, and the Celtics are the opposite. Mitch Bruner, I get my game pay stats from NBA.com. The advanced, not the traditional stats, but the advanced stats, advanced analytics. Big Franco says, sprinkle a little on Kemba points tonight. Kemba is in his head. Did not look good. And he's not looked good for a while. And if Marcus Smart wasn't continually stepping up for him in that backcourt, and Tatum wasn't the monster that he is with 30 and 14 last game, double-doubles every game, Walker needed 19 shots to get 19 points. That's 3 straight games without hitting 20 points while shooting worse than 32%. And he's 1 of 9 from 3-point range. Heat are now 9-1 in the playoffs. You have Butler and Bam with heroic play. You have Dragic, 29 points. Jay Crowder wanting to stick it back to his former team with 22. You have Tyler Hero. Is this I had to stop myself before I said, is this the best young player? Yeah, let's not get carried away. With 12 points, 11 boards, 9 assists off the bench in 40 minutes. Dennis Garcia says, everyone assumes Kemba should eat against Dragon. I wouldn't touch it. Dutch Boy Fresh says it's all on Kemba to me. Dutch Boy Fresh, what are you doing in this spot? I'd love to hear what you are doing. Martin Bradstreet says Celtics. They'll be revved up like they were Game 5 versus Raptors. I see Celtics going out to a big lead. Ben Sports 24/7 says, no, we think Celtics can win tonight because they were going at Heat the whole game and just lost in the fourth and still took it to OT. If Celtics come out like that, they should, and Kemba should step up in the win. Well, I am not going to – I think I've talked myself out of backing the Heat. But it'd be Heat or no play. That plus 120, there's value there. But I think this game slows down. I think it's adjustment to adjustment. We're seeing these spectacular coaches going up against each other. And this is the first game where we're going to see 48 hours of Spo and Stevens thinking, what can I do? What can I do? What can I do? And that could affect the rhythm. And we've already seen this pace at 89.66 possessions a game. I doubled up on the under. First half, full game. I got 106.5 first half. I got 209.5 full game. And one of the reasons why I said double up here was because these guys are so close. And I don't want to be right and have overtime cost me everything. So I'll double up. So at least if I'm completely right and it goes to overtime, I'll cash the first half. Oh, wow, it's going to be fun to watch. What a great night of sports. Oh, it's going to be extremely, extremely enjoyable. Heat Celtics on one TV. Browns Bengals on another TV. Islanders, I got to have one. Maybe I watch both games with the volume off and have the volume on. Islanders Lightning. Antoine Seymour says people really didn't realize how good the Heat are. You're right. Because we knew how good the Celtics were. But the Heat are deep, dangerous, can throw so many different looks at you. Very, very fun. All righty. That is our NBA breakdown. Dutch Boy Fresh saying it's a good matchup for Smart over 14 all day. I take that back. Let's go into our player props. Marcus Smart is so strong right now. He's just a bulldog. He's so tough. He's so mean. He's everything you want in a basketball player. 13.5 is his player prop. Wow. 13.5. Big Review says, what's Braden's status for tonight? I don't think he plays. I don't think Braden Point plays. We're going to get an NHL next. But if I'm reading in between the lines, and I don't think he plays. But if you're going to bet the Lightning, bet Lightning expecting him not to be in the lineup. Because then if he's announced in the lineup, so bet the Lightning at this number, and if he's in the lineup, you're going to get a much better price. But I think he stays off. I don't think he's ready to go. Adonis Iverson saying Heat going up 2-0. Marcus Smart at 13.5 points. I don't know how you don't take that. I think Dutch Boy Fresh is absolutely right. We have a basketball player in the zone. Jason Tatum at 26.5. Let's see what Jason Tatum's points and rebounds. This guy's just a double-double machine. Tatum points and rebounds, 35.5. So they're saying 26.5 points, 9 boards, which is sharp. How do we not back Marcus Smart here? How do we not back Marcus Smart? I think that Nate Schellhammer going under 18.5 for Dragic. I guess Nate Schellhammer thinking that his knees are going to be barking. A red girl says Miami, baby, can't count us out. I think that this is a I think we roll with Dutch Boy Fresh and Marcus Smart here, and I'm going to. He's just playing so strong. Over 13.5 points. for Marcus Smart. Thank you, Dutch Boy Fresh, for leading us there. All right. There we go. Double dipping on the under. Betting on a Bulldog and Marcus Smart. God, he's a bad man. And I'm going to stay off. Dennis Garcia says recency bias, Jimmy. Yes. Recency bias. And vividness bias, too. I vividly remember him throwing daggers at the Raptors. Ugh. In games where I thought the Raptors were smooth sailing, 5 straight threes, Dennis. So, yes, I have a vividness bias and a recency bias, and I expect those two biases in this situation to get me paid on Marcus Smart. But you're absolutely right. Dennis Garcia said he has so much responsibility defensively. Okay. Shaquille Bell with a very, very cool point here. League best plus minus plus 58 in the fourth quarter for the Heat. Outscoring teams by 24 points per 100 possessions. Jerry Beatty says, so nobody thinks he will make adjustments game 2. Oh, come on. It's because we have maybe the two best coaches in the NBA. Dennis, and I love capping with you, Dennis, because Gin Rummy, Dennis, we have so many guys that they keep you on your toes and they keep you honest, and you're right. I've got biases in play here. I want Marcus Smart to be my 2-on-2 teammate here at Parkdale Collegiate. Can finally walk on the court like a man. All righty, let's move on to NHL. Islanders, Lightning. And POC, Prince of the City, says, I stayed off in the last game because I thought this hot streak would end. I should know better. When you're feeling it. I play basketball every day. I play basketball often too, but I play it very poorly. Very poorly. All right. Let's get to work. NHL, Islanders, Lightning. So we bet on the Islanders twice. And it's been enormously successful. We made over $800 on them. We took them -1 in game 3. We took them plus 160 in game 5. And now it's plus 140 that they're offering up. They were fortunate to win the game. The Lightning weren't taking it to them by any means. There were some lucky spots. Razor Sharp says under an NHL looks like a play. It does. It has to. And the only concern is I think this is a live play too. If the Islanders take the lead. Because if the Lightning take the lead, if the Lightning are up 2-0, the Isles have to open it up and the under will lose. The two teams combined for 61 shots on goal. 61 shots on goal in a double overtime game. I mean, that's... I don't remember ever saying that in my life. I mean, 20 shots they combined for in 32 minutes of overtime. The Isles had lost 3 overtime games in a row against the Flyers. Back to the Braden Point thing. If you read between the lines, it doesn't sound like he's coming back. Shane Schwader saying Smart not doing that again. If this was a regular season, I wouldn't make a move on Marcus Smart. But Manny R says Tampa Bay lights out tonight, Jimmy. C-Max says don't love under a 5 in an elimination game. That's the problem. So then if you're nervous about the elimination game and the fact that the Isles will have to pull their goalie early to take you off a bet where you could be right for 55 minutes of the game, then do you take the first period under 1.5? Sure. First period under 1.5, but that's at -135. So where do you go? I want more than plus 140 if I'm back in the Islanders. But I think the plus 140 is a fair price. I think that I don't see an advantage there. I think this game is lined right. And if the game is lined right, where's the value? I don't know. Mr. Know-It-All says injuries and lots of overtime maybe taking a toll on the Lightning. Tommy Bold, Lightning minus a half first period, plus 150 as value. There's Neil P. joining us. Great to see you, Neil. Ulysses Hayes says, let's see what Trotz does as far as matchup with these lines. Trotz has done a great job. C-Mac says rolling Islanders plus 140. And Dutch makes a great point here about our Marcus Smart look. So in NHL, as you guys have seen, unlike last year and the year before that where we just beat up NHL and raked, it's been a battle. And after that win on the Islanders plus 160, we're now up 0.44 units on the year. And I need to be plus units when the season ends, and I don't see an advantage here. I don't see an advantage here. Plus 140 is just not enough. The Lightning could easily have taken that game. The King rolling with us. Great to see you being on 13-1 tear. I love that. Prince of the City says, one thing to remember, this is basically home court for all teams. All they do is shoot in these gyms. Guys that could never shoot have shot well in the bubble. No difference in depth. Same every game. And Prince of the City says, I will be on Smart. And Dennis Garcia says, so pass time for football. Yes. All right, so I'm passing. As boring as that sounds, it would be Islanders or no bet. And it would be under 5 or no bet. But if the Lightning score first, this is a perfect live betting situation. If the Islanders score first, take the under. If the Lightning score first, especially if Lightning are up 2-0, live bet the over. Alrighty. Now we move to NFL. What a fun show. MLB, NBA, NHL, and now we move to NFL. And it's funny. We talk about the mistakes that we make as cappers and trying to be aware of them. And we've already, with Dennis, talked about the vividness bias and the recency bias, and they're so enormous. And the best book I've ever read on those two biases is The Undoing Project by Michael Lewis, who wrote Moneyball. Anybody, and I've talked about it countless times on my show, but anybody hearing that for the first time, please get this book, The Undoing Project. It's spectacular and will help your handicapping so much. And one of the things we talk about is the overreaction from week 1 to week 2 in NFL. Another thing we've seen over the last few years is the Sharps constantly on the Browns. Tony Mang, it's called The Undoing Project. I'll write it right here. The Undoing Project. It's absolutely incredible. And that the first chapter is all NBA. It's not even a sports book. The first chapter is all NBA. And it's like the most enjoyable chapter of any book I've ever read in my life. Okay, so let's talk about this Browns team. They lose 38-6. They look terrible. Stefanski looked awful. They target Beckham 10 times. 3 catches for 22 yards. We talk about the injuries to the Bengals, but let's focus on the Browns' injuries. 3 starters that they expected in the secondary were all out with injuries. Delpit, Greedy, Kevin Johnson. Then they lose Jacob Phillips, their linebacker, in the third quarter with a knee injury. They're susceptible. They looked awful. What is the big advantage for the Browns? It's clearly on the ground. on the ground. The King says, Jimmy, you can't take a rookie to play 2 games in 4 days. You know, if you guys want to trust Mayfield and Beckham and Stefanski, do it. Do it. I liked what I saw from the Bengals against the Chargers, and I know that's a Tyrod Taylor, very conservative offense. Listen to some of the, okay, so Hunt and Chubb go for 132 yards against Baltimore's front in a game they were losing. Now, there's a couple reasons why that happened. The Ravens were expecting pass because the Browns were behind by so much, so there was a lot of pass defenses. But that's still 132 yards against a tough front. Dennis Garcia says Joe Burrow is a better quarterback. There's lots of times when Mayfield does things, and I'm like, Jesus. But this is what Joe Burrow said. In my eyes, I played terrible through 3.5 quarters. He knows he was missing receivers that were open deep. He knows that. He says, in my eyes, I played terrible through 3.5 quarters and then played up to my standards in the last drive and almost won the game. I want Joe Burrow tonight over Baker Mayfield. It comes down to that for me. The King says, I'm trusting the home team covered 14-2 last year, something like that. We know that home teams win on Thursday nights. Do they win right at the beginning of the year? Big Ragu, the legend, Big Ragu says, there's no overreaction here. Browns are trash. I don't mind. I shouldn't say I don't mind losing this bet. If Baker Mayfield steps up, the Browns step up, and Stefanski can turn around and coach a second game after he looked clueless in the first game 4 days later, then I'll lose it. But I liked what I saw from Cincinnati. And yes, this is an overreaction from week 1, but I can't help it. And I got the Bengals at +6. They were available at +6.5 at Bet Rivers. And line shopping for Rob Bebenek, who is 5-0 to start the week. We gave him the 6.5 -120. I got the 6 for myself. Eric Rosas says +6.5 for sure. Anthony Lorenzo says the Thursday night football game is a play-in game all the way. Need to see how the Browns come out for Stefanski. Jansen says, who's the number 1 running back for Browns? Is it Hunt or Chubb? I think it's Chubb. Martin Bradstreet says under is a good play too. Ace Purple says never bet against a great quarterback, and Burrow is great. Three turnovers for the Browns. Interception on the opening series for Baker Mayfield. Two kicks that missed by Siebert. That fake punt call was one of the dumbest things. I was just, I understand that when you take risks like that, you're either an idiot or brilliant, and there's no in between. Birdie says, what did you like other than the final score? Burrows missed a bunch of wide open receivers. He did. I mean, we talk about young quarterbacks. They're the same age, right? No, Mayfield's 25. Okay. What did I like about Burrow is that when the game was on the line, he led them down the field against a strong defense. That's what I liked. And he gave that team confidence. And that 23-yard run for a TD score showed the guys on the sidelines that we can have faith in this kid. A. Haley says, gun to my head, I'm playing the under. We have to make our moves on totals as soon as they come out. And this total's dropping. It was 43.5 on Tuesday. It's 43 now. But it opened at 45.5, and we have to consistently pass on bets when we miss the market move. And our Tuesday night show is too late. We saw huge moves from the point that the books came out with their lines. And looking at the look-ahead lines, we saw huge moves. Brightware says Burrow is the next great one. Martin Bradstreet says Mayfield has shown he can play in this league. You can't just write him off. Just like last year, Browns team was a favorite to win. Yeah. Mr. Know-It-All. 6.5 on Bengals seems too easy. I'm a bit worried, to be honest. Smells like a trap, but Browns have talent. Birdie, I don't think it's way too much to ask for Joe. Again, we talk about this. Browns secondary is being beaten up. It's injured. Delpit, Greedy, and Kevin Johnson, they were all supposed to be starters in the secondary. So Jerry Beatty says Bengals had months to prepare for that game. Not here. Everybody's overreacting. Jerry, when a team opens their second game on Thursday, they don't put all their energy into that first game. They know they have another game 4 days later. So they had months to prepare for both games. Prince Tagram is on 33-20 final score for the Browns. Jesse Daly says, since he ain't winning 4 games this year, they're a trash organization. Vincent Gigante says, I'm on the Bengals +6. The guys on the Bengals will play hard for him. The Browns players all play for themselves. Big Franco says the Browns can run open up play action. And now whether they can catch the ball is a different story. Nate Shellhammer says, take the Browns. The King says, still got Denzel Ward. Yeah, Denzel's a beast. And Birdie says, so you're saying teams do look ahead, laughing at Chargers +8.5. I love your look there, Birdie. It's very exciting. TJ saying 2010 Browns. Christian Rivas says, I feel like Cincinnati comes in feeling like they got robbed on that last drive. They will steal this win. Plus, Burrow looked so poised in that pocket. He did in that final drive. Bengals +6. I like Burrow's debut last week. Jansen wondering if Landry's playing tonight. I'll have to take a look. There are biases coming into play for me on the Bengals. No question about it. I doubled up on the Ravens first half full game. It was too easy. And the Browns just let us down and let us down and let us down. And as much as we questioned some coaching decisions by the Bengals last year, they have a quarterback they believe in. They have a much stronger offensive line. And I just think I get enough points here. Kobe Valentine says, if you like the Bengals, take the money line. Whoever wins this game is always a blowout. Makes me think that Baker has more weapons for a blowout than Cincy. Lean Browns. Second Texas Browns opened last year. Bad week 2 for Jets. They stomped them. Alrighty. And Smith Legacy says Steph will rally the troops. Only second game. God. That fake punt was just idiocy. Big Franco says, what about the team total for these two teams? I want to watch, first of all, and I'm leaning towards the under. And I think that we got a little carried away on the Browns running on the Ravens because they were so far behind. The Ravens were in pass defenses. Let's see the Browns run on the Ravens when they're expecting a run. They don't. Robert Allen says Bengals are better than Cleveland, and that is just sad. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that 6 is enough. I think the Bengals can keep this close. And I'm on the Bengals +6. Birdie makes a great point. He says, I made the mistake on the Browns last week, but this week I'm not going to double that up by reading too much into a loss versus arguably the best team in the NFL. Jansen saying that Landry right now is listed as questionable. And Kobe says, Bro's missed all the good shit you need to be a good rookie quarterback. Pre-camp, rookie camp, preseason. Bro gonna need a couple weeks to be good. Alrighty, that is all for sports capped. Every game capped and broken down. Let's review everything on our card right now. In baseball, we're taking the Red Sox first 5 at plus 105. We're skipping Twins, White Sox, skipping Diamondbacks, Angels. We're on the Giants first 5 minus a half at minus 110 and full game minus 1 at minus 122. And there's very sharp cappers on the other side with the Mariners as a dog price. And I'm betting on Tyler Anderson after going through the 3 straight games against the Diamondbacks to know exactly, because Mark Jeffichis and Tyler Anderson are meeting each other again for the second time in a very short period. And I think Tyler Anderson learned something. And I watched that interview yesterday. He said all the things I wanted to hear. He explained exactly what his mistakes were when he saw the Diamondbacks 3 games in a row. I don't think he makes the same mistake here. I'm on the Rays, Orioles under 6. It's still 6.5 at minus 135. Or it was half an hour ago. Let's see what it is now. It's still 6.5 at minus 135. So I might have to build my 6 line, because when you do the alternate lines, Bet365 don't give you the even numbers. Let's just see what I do here if I have to build it. The alternate totals. Oh, they are giving me a 6. 6 at minus 120. It's not enough. 6 at minus 120. Big Ragu. I don't usually bet Thursday night NFL. Tonight I bet Bengals plus the points. There's my guy Intex. Kobe says, I think the Rockies have a lot of value. We'll get there. We will get there. Rays, Orioles. What is that 5.5? A minus 105? God, just don't give anything away for free. I'll have to figure out how I'm going to bet this Rays, Orioles under. I'm certainly not going to take 6.5 minus 135. Then I'm on the Yankees minus 1.5 and minus 125. I was talked into it by the chat. I'm on the Cardinals minus 1, backing Dakota Hudson. I'm on the Tigers first 5 at plus 240, going up against Bieber. I would have loved to take the first 5 plus a half, but cost me a whole $1, so I'm not going to do that. Then I'm on the Rockies first 5 plus 130. That's my MLB card. In NBA, I doubled up on the under. First half, under 106.5. Full game, under 209.5. And Marcus Smart over 13.5 points. Staying off of Islanders Lightning. I guess I'm just taking my cash and, booking the win in the series. I just think this line is where it should be now. The plus 160 in game 5 was value. That minus 1 in game 3. Those are the only 2 times we bet on the Islanders, and they've been very successful. And I'm staying off. And then I'm on the Bengals plus 6, staying off the total. And that is our entire action. Let's see what Birdie's saying. There's another angle to support the Browns here. Sharp posted a tweet where he showed passing attempts by Burrow. Burrow said it was exactly the same as last year, which tells us they're not making adjustments. Jerry B. Browns first half and under first half is my look. Browns will come out running a lot. Talk Sports with JT says Browns have a lot of pressure to win this game tonight. They have to win. And yes, Nilo, I'm with you. THC's Rizza says these Browns can cover. And Michael Ervalina with an NFL prop bet our guy Dutch Boy Fresh with an NFL prop bet that's getting a love. Can I find it? Michael Ervalina liking it. I can't find it here. Damn. Well, you are going to see a lot more Dutch Boy Fresh on odds.com moving forward. There you have it. There is our show. God, it's going to be a fun Thursday. Non-stop action. I hope you guys enjoy it. Eat up every second of this because we could get some dark nights in November with not a lot to bet on. But tonight won't be one of those nights. The sun is still shining. MLB, NBA, NHL, and NFL. Let's enjoy every second of it. I've got nothing without you guys. Thank you so much for your support and for watching the show. The King says, please don't take the Bengals, Jimmy. I'm going to. And thank you. Melvin Batanza saying AJ Green over 57 yards. Oh, God, I hope he gets some. And Dean Eden says, don't forget, Jimmy, horses need love. Yes, we are going to be full day of horses for the Preakness Stakes. Thank you, Crash99. Dean Eden, Mr. Know-It-All, Cashman, Mr. Ghoster, Melvin Batanzas, Alexei Popovich, Jesse Daly, Dav Fenn, The King, Christian Rivas, Michael Ervalina, Dutch Boy Fresh, Martin Bradstreet, Intex, Nilo, THC is Rizza, Talk Sports with JT, Mr. Know-It-All, Birdie, Jason Lowry, Alex Ramirez, star the Spidey play today, Connor Mack. Oh, and it's Connor Mack's birthday. Birthday pick. Chili Dog Dooley and Connor Mack, birthday pick. Now, I think that everybody in the chat, I think we should all, my birthday's the day after the Preakness. Let's all put in, just because this is something that Pete Loshak made special, and I'm not going to try to recreate the magic that Loshak did with the birthday picks. So let's all put in our best bet of the day for Chili Dog Dooley and C-Mac right now in the chat, and let the birthday boys decide which birthday pick they want to tail. So I'm going to put mine in the chat right now. My birthday pick will be Boston, Miami. Yeah. All right, here is my birthday pick for the guys. Boston, Miami, first half under 106.5. Canadian captain Chubb over 72 yards. Jerry Beatty Browns first half. Nick Hubb Mets money line. Joe Free Bengals +6. Crash 99 Twins money line. Chris L Nick Chubb over a half rushing TD at +180. Princess City on the Rams. Lance LaRose Toronto New York full game over. Look at those birthday picks for Chili Dog and C-Mac. They're coming in. Barham Dog Jenkins on Lynx -3.5. Captain 2747 with me on the under Heat game. Canadian Capper Yanks over team total. I love it. We have ZZ. We have my friend. I'm doubling up on the unders in the basketball game and taking Marcus Smart point prop over. All right. Have a great Thursday. Let's cash. And I will catch you guys here tomorrow. But most importantly, Leche. Hey, those bookmakers. Jordan Fist. Kobe Fist. Let's go.